It's another imagination activation story time. This is a story that I wrote. It's called The Red Shadow, 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 the Red Shadow. And it's designed to drop you down into the scene. Instead of visuals being fed to you, you are feeding yourself the characters, the setting, the sounds. You are designing what you see through your pure creativity alone. This is quite similar, but different to the Dreamland video, in which I spit out scenes of past dreams and you are responsible for filling in the blanks. You can find that link below and above, but this is much different because it is a work of fiction. You might not know, but I've written, directed, produced several films, mostly animated, and this is the script for a film that is not yet made. I'm curious to hear what you see when you start to visualize it. As always, I highly recommend finding a quiet, dark place so you can surrender over to your imagination and allow it to populate the screen behind your eyes, allowing the images to take over behind your eyelids, behind your eyelids, behind your eyelids. And you'll find by doing so, you will become inspired because at any time you can imagine and create and visualize anything you want. With enough silence and focus, you can go as deep as you want. So, when you're nice and ready, let's dive into the world of the Red Shadow. Twilight, a village on an Italian cliffside. Soft yellow street lamps offer dim light. We see a faint, circular, radioactive orange glow. Pulse, 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 pulse from every home. A red shadow sweeps into the outskirts beyond village limits. He observes each home with disappointed concern. The faint hum of electrical wires grows into a high-pitched, piercing tone. He closes his eyes and tries to shake the sound and the scene away until, trembling, he accepts the action he must take. The high-pitched tone flatlines as the red shadow springs to life and sails through the air to hover over the village. As the red shadow hovers, his body warps from the pulsations below. The sound of the hum hits him in shockwaves now. This is visible torture. The outline of his form goes jagged. He squints his eyes and releases a few tears. Suddenly, the homes glitch into a separate dimension as they turn into an electromagnetic hologram of colors. Devices that imitate phones, computers, and televisions float up and out of each home and building. The screens glitch and become a chaotic mess of red, blue, and green static as they are absorbed into the body of the red shadow. The devices shock and sap the red shadow. He grows more spastic from each absorption. As the scene continues, he morphs into an electric version of himself, consumed by the painful stages of his own transformation. He doesn't notice the strange, bright opal liquid that seeps into the frame below him. This liquid is noticeable to the viewer, but remains blurry until, at the height of his metamorphosis, he shoots off screen toward the cliff's edge. The camera remains fixed on the village. Viscous, gooey liquid seeps from beneath the doorways of each home and collects in the streets. We cut to the red shadow. He stares out at the ocean, sweating and swaying, trying to make sense of what's happening to him. But that hum, he can still hear it. A faint glow appears over his shoulder and beams into the side of his mind. Agitated and vicious, he does a sharp turn and finds a home on the outskirts, the last house remaining with radiation. He snarls and darts over to it. His feet remain on the ground as he spreads his body around the side of the house. We cut to the back of a dark room. We observe the silhouette of a woman in front of a large paneled window, her phone in front of her face, recording. We cut in close to the phone as she records through the window. She records the seeping glow as it trickles onto the street. Suddenly, the red shadow appears in her frame. He stares at her in wonder. The red shadow has never seen the humans below. He's only sucked up their devices. The woman is stunned, but does not take her eyes away from the device. We split to a two-shot divide between the red shadow outside and the woman inside. The frame wobbles as the red shadow magnetizes the phone out of her hands and absorbs it. The woman's hands are frozen in place. The red shadow buzzes to an extreme from all the electricity. There's a first and final moment of eye-to-eye contact between them as the red shadow moves in to lock eyes with the woman, still stunned. She seems to suffer a still mental explosion as she observes the real image in front of her. But her eyes only reflect a mirrored image of the red, green, blue static of the red shadow. The red shadow shows a moment of empathy, of human connection to the woman. He is aware of the damage he caused. We linger on this human exchange as the woman's elbows turn black. This blackness travels from her arms to her hands and spreads through her entire body until she hardens. A beat, a crack travels up the middle of her body. She splits in half. The viscous opal liquid that fills the village streets begins to seep out of her split body. The red shadow, now conscious of the effects of his actions, flies off the village cliff toward the ocean below. He is upset, hysterical over the human condition, what they've become. As he sails down in a fit of emotion, we cut below to the still, calm ocean water. The water bubbles. A mysterious dark submarine emerges from below. Then, in the distance, splash, the red shadow hits the ocean. We cut in for a frenetic collision of intense, rapid shapes and sounds that overtake the screen. This is as if the internet and every programming device in existence is having its last hemorrhage before going extinct. A stream of smoke pours from the red shadow. Bits of strange rainbow color, like the gutter rainbows in water after a good rain, when the water mixes with gasoline, move through his body. The submarine travels over to him. A black void creature emerges and scrambles to the top of the submarine. The black void observes the red shadow, leans in, fixes the red shadow with intense concentration. Nothing happens. The black void focuses to such an extent that, in the form of comedic relief, the black void looks constipated, like it's trying to force something out, as a vein pops in the black void's head, and it appears to be on the brink of a hernia. The gutter rainbow of the red shadow seeps out and into the air, forming two concentric circles. The circles grow in size and energy. They are dazzling and powerful. After a final moment of concentrated intensity, the circles shift into two physical gold coins that fall into the outstretched palm of the black void. The black void takes the two coins and hits them together. The red shadow is restored to its original form and liberated from the experiences it has just had. The red shadow is now giddy, euphoric, and filled with laughter. He splashes and plays around in the water. We end close on the red shadow, doing a backstroke with style and ease. Thank you very much. I hope that this generated a visual experience for you, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts.